On a cold, uneasy night over Westminster, a strange tension hangs in the air. A tension that whispers of endings, of ruptures, of something quietly breaking beneath the surface. Inside the halls of power, rumors move like shadows, quick, sharp, unsettling. And at the heart of those whispers lies a single, shocking question. Is Sir Keir Starmer preparing to walk away from Downing Street, long before the storm even reaches its peak? What began as murmurs in private conversations has now grown into a political riddle gripping the entire Labour establishment and perhaps signalling the collapse of a Prime Minister long before anyone expected. Before we unravel this extraordinary political mystery, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Tell us, do you believe Starmer is on the brink of resigning, or is this just political theatre? Your engagement helps push this investigation to the audiences who need to see it. The story begins with new reports suggesting something unthinkable. Sir Keir Starmer could resign as Prime Minister even before facing an internal leadership challenge expected in early 2026. According to the Daily Mail, senior Labour figures have quietly concluded that Starmer's mood, described as oddly serene and almost zen-like, simply does not match the political weight pressing down on him. And make no mistake, the stakes could not be higher. Next week's autumn budget is widely described as a make-or-break moment for his leadership, a point at which one wrong move could shatter the party's already fragile unity. Yet despite the pressure, despite the collapsing poll numbers, despite the whispers of rebellion, Starmer appears almost unnervingly calm. One backbencher, speaking anonymously, painted a strange picture of the Prime Minister's demeanor. He was very chilled, they said. Not the behavior of a man carrying the weight of the nation. And certainly not the behavior of a leader who expects to carry that weight for much longer. Their words hinted at something deeper, something the party has only begun to understand. Another minister added their voice to the speculation, pointing to an unusual moment that took place only days earlier. To mark International Men's Day, Starmer wrote an emotional letter about his son, speaking of the importance of fathers and sons learning from one another. He even admitted that he and his own father never really spoke or got to know each other. For a prime minister famously guarded about his private life, this was profoundly out of character. The minister described the moment as valedictory, a word that carries the weight of endings, farewells, quiet goodbyes. But why now? Why open a door into his personal life at the very moment his leadership is under threat? This question becomes even more pressing when viewed against the backdrop of what's happening inside Labour's ranks. For weeks, whispers of mutiny have circulated quietly but persistently. Ambitious figures, among them Health Secretary Wes Streeting and Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, are rumoured to be positioning themselves for the top job. Not openly, not yet, but enough for insiders to take notice. Meanwhile, the public mood is souring. Labour's approval rating has sunk to a devastating 18%, the lowest since the party took power. Behind the scenes, panic is spreading. Once confident MPs now fear that the public is preparing its own judgment, a judgment that could be delivered as early as May's local elections, seen by many as the ideal moment for a leadership challenge to emerge from the shadows. And yet, amidst all this turmoil, Starmer appears unmoved. Almost detached. When confronted with speculation about rivals preparing to strike, he dismissed it entirely, labelling leadership chatter as wasted government time. But the truth is harder to bury. Earlier this month, an explosive confrontation shook Downing Street when a Number 10 source briefed the media that Wes Streeting was plotting a challenge. This was the moment Labour's internal tension burst into the open, no longer rumours, but a full-blown political crack ripping through the cabinet. In response, Number 10 tried to regain control. A spokesperson stated, "The Prime Minister opened cabinet by setting out the importance of the government's mandate to renew the country. He said distractions meant our focus shifted from where it mattered most, working every day in service of the British people." But even these words could not mask the truth. The government is shaken. The unity Starmer promised last July, when he insisted that the grown-ups are in charge, has fractured. And now, a far more unsettling possibility looms. Some believe the Prime Minister may be pushed to resign before Christmas, especially after next week's tax-hiking budget, which is already facing fierce internal backlash. Others are convinced he will hold on until the local elections in May, only to be toppled by rivals eager for change and eager for power. What makes this story so gripping, so darkly compelling, is the sense that the end may already be written, even if the final chapter has yet to be spoken aloud. A leader who appears unusually calm. A party preparing for rebellion. A nation watching from the sidelines as the cracks widen. And through it all, Starmer remains quiet, composed, almost philosophical. As if he knows something the rest of us do not. As if he has already accepted whatever fate is waiting just beyond the horizon. So the question remains. Is this the quiet before the political storm? Or has Sir Keir Starmer already made his decision long before the crisis fully reveals itself? Only time will expose the truth. But one thing is certain, the coming months may redefine British politics in ways no one saw coming. If you've made it this far, tell us in the comments. Is Starmer preparing to walk, or preparing to fight? And don't forget, subscribe for the next chapter of this unfolding drama.